it's Alex here. I am coming to you before the episode with just a mini little info dump for you. As some of you might know, Kat and I have had a wildly packed spring and summer full of really exciting events. If you missed any of them, you can head to our Instagram. We try to post a lot of it so that you can see the recaps. One of them being about this episode. So we have had a really crazy time. We wanted to share this one last episode with you of season 2. And then after this episode, we are so sad, but we are going to be taking a hiatus just a little bit so that we can focus on our businesses a little bit, as well as schedule some exciting guest interviews. We have a lot up our sleeves and we are so ready to share more and more with y'all. I think, as you know, the industry has a lot of things going on. We have a lot of things to say about it. And as always, we want to be mindful about the way that we're doing it, but also that takes time. So yeah, we just wanted to share that we'll be taking a little bit of a break after this episode that we're sharing today. And as always, feel free to DM us, whether personally on the Keeping Up with the Calligs Instagram page, and we'll be back soon. So in the meantime, enjoy the hilarity of this episode. Take it as a cautionary tale for doing international weddings. And with all that being said, enjoy! Hey everyone, and welcome back to Keeping Up with the Calligraphers. This is Alex of Signs of Our Lives, and
I'm Kat of Kat Lauren Calligraphy.
We are bringing you what we hope is going to be a mini episode today. So buckle up because we are heading to Spain.
Woohoo!
Which is where Kat just got back from. And so I'm basically just going to ask her all about it because I have been dying to hear all about the process, all about how she booked, all about how the hell she got favors over there, everything. So I guess we should start with, how did you get this amazing dream job that you've had on your bucket list?
Yeah, and not the way you'd think. I did a networking event that I didn't even do like live calligraphy for. It was like they had like a really long table where they wanted me to like do people's names on the tablecloth with calligraphy. And it was a good friend of mine that was the planner. So I was like, that's not really what I do, but I'm happy to do it for you. So I did that because I was doing a live event before. I was late to set that up. So like as people were showing up, I was like still kind of writing names, which it wasn't a big deal. But then I was standing in line for pizza and this DJ was standing in front of me and he was like, they didn't even put my name on there. And I was like, well, no, I wrote them all. So I promise your name is there. Like, what is your name? And he ended up that he had not signed up. So I didn't write his name. And I was like, that's okay. I have my pen right here. Like, I'll do it right here for you. And so he took a video of me writing his name on the tablecloth, posted it on his story. And then one of his friends, I guess, saw that story and landed on my Instagram, saw what I did, sent me a DM and was like, I need to book you immediately for my wedding in Spain. And I was like, immediately, yes, say less. Like, that's fine. So I sent over pricing, like it worked out. But yeah, so like very much not a way like that I would have expected that inquiry to come in.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned that story before. I don't know if it was on the networking episode or something else, but like, I feel like that's just like why you network. It's why you go out into the world, because you meet these people that connect you to these incredible opportunities.
Yeah, and you just truly never know who's in other people's networks and like whatever. Like I never would have guessed that this was how this came about.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't connect that this was the inquiry from that. And I feel like that was, less than a year ago, but that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that for you. Oh my God. Look at you. You got to know, like, you're fucking 5 seconds.
I know. Going from like my first networking event, which was what, like episode like 3, 4, 5, something. I don't know. It was like one of our first episodes where I was like, I need to do more networking. We like followed my whole networking journey and now like in Spain. Still don't love networking events, but
that was like wedding vendors, right?
Not just wedding, but I guess like wedding primarily. Yeah.
Like event vendors, primarily event vendors that do wedding. Okay.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got this job. You already knew how to quote for it, right? Because you've been quoting for weddings, or is this one of those where you're
Yeah,
like,
so my first one was a couple years ago in Paris, and I've done a couple other destination things here and there. So, I've definitely refined my process. This was still helpful. I think this was not the first time from like start to finish, but it was essentially still like a hot lead, but still a cold lead. I still had to, go through the process and some education and like explaining how that all worked. And it was a little bit of a guinea pig too to kind of figure out like, okay, is this something that couples may find helpful or not. So it was actually helpful for like refining some of my processes. And they're both small business owners, the couple. And it was actually super sweet. One of the first things they said, they were like, we already were really excited to hire you, but seeing how efficient your back end is and how professionally you're coming with your contracts and the invoices and everything being all set up, we just really appreciate it. We feel so at ease. I was like,
I love
thank you
that.
so much because I literally just spent months on all of this.
You really did. I feel like you were going hard on your back end, and I was like, what the hell are you even doing back there?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
needed that reinforcement. Yeah, it was
Okay,
helpful
congrats.
to also see like how I maybe want to continue moving forward or maybe not continue moving forward with certain pieces. Yeah, so that's how that came about.
That's awesome.
And I ended up doing it. I had started, it was just going to be wedding day. And she was talking primarily with the bride. She had the idea that we were going to do, actually, we didn't even have an idea. She was just like, we're going to do something. I don't know what it is. That was where I started coming up with like, it's fine. That's part of like my favorite curation process. Like, I'll ask you a little bit about you and your partner and your friends and family that are coming, and we'll pick something. And she was like, great, perfect. The trust she had in me from the beginning was like incredible.
I just need a sidebar, like, your process couldn't be me. Like, I feel like your process for onboarding the wedding clients, I'm like, I literally like, you put in so much work into curation of all that stuff, like, it was incredible to see. Yeah, so
Thank
that's
you.
awesome. No,
It
I
was
was like
honestly, I do feel like all the time I spent on that back end and helping figuring out my messaging, the way I talk about it really has transformed me into feeling more confident in the way I talk about it, which I feel like when I can confidently talk about it, they can feel more confident in me. That's not to say that they don't have questions. I do feel like she was maybe more of a trusting bride than some others, but we went through a couple different ideas. We were working through trying to source items. Um,
so what favor did you end up with?
Okay, so the whole favor thing was a wild situation. So I was trying to decide with my packaging if I wanted to, I knew favor curation was something that I wanted to include and where I helped them choose what that was going to look like. But then at that time, I also was trying to play with the idea of fully including everything in the pricing. So playing with the idea of like you get a certain credit towards your favor. So I think I don't even remember the amount that we did, to be honest, but it was like up to $500, as an example. I don't remember what this was. So, um, I had like started coming up with some suggestions. We were talking through that and we started with, I don't even remember. So she had filled out my form and we were starting to go in the curation process. She ended up coming across my
Julio, right?
reel, huh?
The Don Julio, right?
Yeah, so she ended up coming across my Don Julio reel and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I want to do this. My people are party people." So then it was great. Okay, how do we figure out like sourcing those bottles in Spain? Where do they distribute? Does anybody distribute that out there? Can we get that in such a large quantity? If we can, like where can we store them until we get there? All of those things. And it broke down. We weren't able to kind of, I mean, yeah, we couldn't figure that out there. So then it was like, okay, can we explore getting them there, whether they were shipping them, whether they're, whatever. And then that ended up breaking down. And then we yeah, so then we decided on we were gonna do, like, flasks and luggage tags. He likes the idea, but was still, like, locked in, I think, on the Don Julio. She really liked the idea of doing some type of, like,
We do
liquor or an
party.
alcohol or something, like yeah, like, very, like, party vibes. So she and I ended up talking, and we decided to add on to their original package. So we ended up adding on actually the move the
or did I say luggage tags? It ended up being passport holders and flasks. So we ended up moving that to the welcome party. So I added
Wow.
on an
What?
additional day of service for that. And then I'm saying 2 gifts, not even just one, like incredible.
Welcome.
And
Please bring.
then she had found these like sangria bottles that we ended up doing anyway, but we were trying to find them in bulk. And again, how do we get it there? And the planner, I didn't get a chance to chat with the planner as much, but the communication seemed like it just like wasn't, I don't know. It just like wasn't working out. So we were like, we're gonna have to take this into our own hands. This is fine. Like 3 days before, we still couldn't figure it out. And I was just like, listen, I don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna go to Spain and I'm gonna find it and we're gonna figure it out. And the
Wow.
absolute trust this woman had in me.
You're a bold girl. Holy shit.
I mean, what I ended up doing was buying like a bunch of extra of the like flasks and the passport holders. So I figured like worst comes to worst, I truly can't find anything she loves. Like I can do one day, one the other day, and I will still have fulfilled my contract. Like she's still happy with those choices. It maybe isn't like her top thing. But it will still work out and both sides will still be happy about, how this has gone.
Yeah. So did
Um
you brought all the flasks and the passport holders?
I did. Yeah. So
Wow.
that
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was quite a bit. We had there's like a couple different ways to do it. I think what ended up being most cost effective and easiest was to take them in a carry-on or not carry-on, in a checked bag. So the person I brought to assist me used one of his checked bags and then I used one of my checked bags. The flasks all fit in one checked bag, so that was his bag to take care of. And then passport holders fit in half of my check bag. So it was like half the luggage tags, or sorry, passport holders, and then half my clothes and like all of the other things. But
Dude,
even like it's not even just the logistics of trying to get them there. The other logistics is considering customs when you land and like if and when you're going to need to pay taxes and what that looks like because you're bringing in like obviously large quantities of goods to another country and they're like, excuse me, we want our taxes for that.
why do you have 300
So
flasks in your suitcase?
yeah. So it's like researching like what is the threshold for tax? Like what does that look like? Not to evade taxes or anything like that, but just to like get an idea of like to prepare myself. Like if I'm going to land and I'm going to need to pay taxes on this, like what is the amount that I should anticipate paying? I need to communicate that to the client, obviously, because that should be, part of that transaction there. So just researching like what that looks like. We didn't end up having to do it because of the way it was written. Like I wasn't like reselling them. Or anything like that. Like it was just like a gift as part of everything else. So we didn't end up paying the tax on that. I don't know. That is not like tax advice. So like don't take me
Yeah. No, but that makes sense. Like if you're bringing
on that.
something as a gift, like it's a lot different. It's like the car, right? Like if someone gives you a car as a gift, you're not paying the thing, right? I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck if
Listen,
you
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not an expert on international taxes for goods.
But like something to consider if you're
Yeah,
bringing all the
something to
stuff,
consider.
or if your client is bringing all the stuff and you can't source it locally, that you might need to
Correct.
pay. You're going through
Customs.
customs and you're going to need to pay something maybe potentially
Right.
and answer the
And like,
question.
yeah, having all the receipts in case you need that so you can show like how much they were so they can calculate all of that. I had all of that just like tucked in the bag just in case that way I didn't have to be like scrambling for it or whatever else. So it was just like trying to figure out like all of those logistics. Yeah,
That would stress
it
me
was
out, I feel like.
something.
No, that is so bold of you. Like all of the things. You are a very bold person. You put a lot of trust in the universe.
I put a lot of trust in myself to like figure it out, which we also did figure out the favorite thing. So the sangria that she really wanted to do, I was like, I'm pretty sure this is a large brand out there. Like, we're going to find it. I
Yeah.
literally just went to like a random liquor store and I was like, amazing. I'll take 80 of them.
Yeah. No, I think I commented on your post about I was like, "Oh, I had one of these and I kept it. I didn't even open it because I was just so excited
It's like sentimental
that it
about
was
it.
cute." Yeah, and then, it didn't make it to California, but
Yeah.
no, they're so
So
cute. Now I wish I freaking drank it so I know what it tasted like at least.
I know. So, I mean, it ended up working out. If I had to have run to like multiple like little liquor stores, like I would have figured it out. There's plenty of like
They're in every tourist.
Spanish leather goods or
Yeah.
like I felt very, and again, I would say she had obviously a lot more trust than I think maybe a lot of other couples would felt comfortable with. But it ended up working out. We ended up getting what she wanted anyway, and it was great. But I will tell you, the logistics of getting through that, and then the logistics of not just getting it from like the US in country, we also decided to like vacation a little bit before and a little bit after. So it was like taking them from the US to Madrid, taking them on a train from Madrid to Barcelona, taking them from Barcelona on a plane to Malaga, and then having to take an Uber in from Malaga to Marbella. And then the flight in, just like the little 1 hour puddle jumper from Barcelona to Malaga, they just didn't put half of our checked bags on the flight. So I'm standing there and I have my backpack that has all of my stuff in it because you have to, the lithium batteries of my tools. So most engravers or anything rechargeable is going to be a lithium battery that cannot go in the cargo or down below in the plane because it's fire hazard. So that has to stay with you on your person in your carry-on. So I always had all my tools, which I mean, I would have done anyway, just in the event that all of my bags go missing, at least like I know I have my stuff.
Even me to
So
like San Jose, I was like holding my engraver like if with me.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
need my emotional support engraver just in case. And
Yeah. So I had all my tools in my backpack with me. I had my other carry-on that had like my dresses because I had like a garment bag with like his suit, my dresses, and like my cosmetics. Like I had everything minimally that I needed to like complete an event. I might have to go again find more favors, but yeah, the flasks made it, but the luggage tags did not. And they were just like, we'll get it to you like at your hotel within 72 hours. And I was like, no. Like I will literally not even be in this city in 72 hours. That is not an option, but thank you so much. If they're not on the next plane, like, it is about to be everybody's problem. Like, which is not necessarily the way I would like recommend handling that situation.
you know, I'm Aries because
But definitely communicating the urgency. It ended up working out. It was about to be everybody's problem if it didn't. They did show up on the next flight. She did try to send them back to Barcelona, and that was really about to be an issue, but it worked out. Again, I would have just stopped at another liquor store. Like I had an idea of what I was going to do for backup plans, like, but also it was in my contract. Like that's not something that like I can foresee happening. That wasn't something that was like in my control. I have a clause that covers that. It would have been unfortunate. I would have figured it out. But yeah, that was also like a fun.
Dude, just hearing about this whole maybe have got, I mean, it sounds like everything worked out, but even the process of maybe it wasn't going to, that is, woo, can make a
like up until like
theory movie about that.
Like hours before. Like I came in the night before, so the welcome party was the next day. But again, even if they had to bring my bags in the next day, like that was pushing it. I wouldn't recommend people cutting it that close.
So like vacation after would be maybe lesson learned?
Or even like vacation before I think could be fine, but giving more of a buffer time than I gave myself. Like I would have given if I did it again, I would give myself like 48 hours.
Okay.
As opposed to like 12.
I mean, that seems to be a consistent lesson. So yes.
I will not learn it until there are consequences for my actions.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
But yeah, so that was
Dang, dude. Okay,
it's just like a lot to consider, you
Yeah.
know? And I do think like, especially for destination weddings, like every planner is different, every client is different, but I do feel like couples in general are looking for you to be the expert, the troubleshooter, to be able to offer those things. Like, not that it's not possible to work with a planner who would help you with the logistics of those things, because there's absolutely planners that would, but I think you're putting yourself in a better position if you're able to troubleshoot those things and be a more active solution provider, as opposed to just, well, I just do the like service. You end up just adding more responsibility to the planners or to the couple who already has all of these other logistics, and that could be fine. I just feel like they may be less likely to refer you for something like that again if it's just adding more on their plate. Does that make sense? Is
Yeah.
that a good
No,
way of
I think
saying
it
it?
depends too. Yeah, it depends on the client. I think it depends on the situations. I think for sure for weddings, like those are like such a separate entity than like the brand stuff.
100%. because the brands are 10 out of 10 in charge of doing stuff.
But at the same time, like, I know, like, I charge a little bit less than probably a lot of bit less at this point, for weddings than you do, because I feel like you're providing so much. Like, you're providing those curated back end things. You're really nurturing your couples. You're really spending the time to educate them. And then you're doing all of this, like, sourcing and bringing and custom, like, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's worth something. That's worth a
I'm
lot.
spending hours.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
just to each their own, right? Like,
100%.
for what, again, this, I feel like we always go back to, right, like, what are you capable of, what you like, if you have Virgo placements, do it. I don't, so I'm not gonna do that. I know the logistics would kill me. That would kill
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah, I think just understanding your own threshold for troubleshooting, your threshold for stressful situations, like unknown
yeah.
challenges, all of those things,
Yeah. Yes, 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 yes.
especially when traveling. But yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean,
'Cause traveling is hard because you have the language barrier. Like, I remember
yeah,
when I was in Spain, not only the language barrier, but I got sick in Spain, and their pharmacies are not the same, and they do
no,
not do medicine the same, and it was not a good experience. So I can't even imagine, like, losing an engraver or needing burrs or, like, any of those things and having to troubleshoot that in a different country.
yeah. I mean, when I was in Paris, I literally forgot about the power conversion. So I was supposed to
Oh
foil
my god,
all
the
of these
power.
things, and I was like, I literally cannot get my foiler to
Oh,
be at a low enough level, and none of the converters that I was finding were bringing it low enough. So like I literally could not foil. Like it was singeing through everything because it was like triple
dear
the
god.
heat it needed to be at.
Yeah.
So I mean, thank God, like I had a backup plan. I ended up just doing it with paint pen, and ended up obviously I was not as happy with the result as I could have
Yeah.
been, but everybody else was, and it was
Yeah.
fine. Again, troubleshooting, your ability to pivot, feel confident, be prepared for that pivot,
Have that.
all of those things. But yeah, the fun didn't stop there.
No, you literally, if I had an aura ring right now, would be the blood pressure would be whoop. I'm like stressed you just talking about this. I'm not even kidding you right now. It's wild.
I know. So it was that. Got everything in, had a great meal the night before. The hotel was great. The staff was great there. The venue itself was, so we're in the city of Marbella. It was not in the city of Marbella, contrary to what all of the documents said. So it was technically in the next city over, which was up a mountain. And it was like 30 minutes away. When we got there for the welcome party, again, I don't even have the planner's number to like be texting her on like WhatsApp or anything, but we get, because they've told us this whole time, you could just Uber, everything's fine. So
I have
yes,
a
what is your
question.
question?
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. Sorry, I haven't traveled internationally in a bit, obviously. Did you have to get like a phone plan situation to get Wi-Fi?
I'm like grandfathered into a very nice international phone plan
Wi-Fi?
because of my family.
Okay. But like a normal person would probably have to like figure, okay, so far we have.
Yeah, so like if you don't already have an international phone plan, I think a lot of carriers now you can reach out to them ahead of time and you can add on an international plan for a period of time. I think it's like you just end up getting it for the month, I believe. I don't know. Again, I don't, this isn't something that I do, but people I know have done that. So like you call T-Mobile, for example, hey, like I want to add on an international plan for the month. They have a
Yeah.
flat fee for that, I want to say. Or you could buy an international SIM card, I think, when you get there. Or you can just communicate through
Work phone.
Wi-Fi, which if you're going for work, I wouldn't recommend that just because, example, where I was at, there was no service
Wi-Fi.
or Wi-Fi.
Okay, so we have power. I'm just making a mental list for everyone and for me. So power converters, which I have a bag of, so I'm pretty happy about that because I've been to so many different places that have different power
Yeah.
things that I've
I
lived.
tested one this time around that worked. So I used the same flowing machine. I found a converter. It worked when I was there. So
Converter,
do I
phone,
need to make an Amazon storefront? Do I need to
bank
make like a
card.
list? Like,
Yeah, bank card. Well, you should probably write a to do. Bank
well,
card.
my bank, I didn't need like a separate bank card. Like,
Well, you have to like inform them you're leaving the country, or at least I always have.
Yeah, I would let them know so that way they don't like flag you for fraud. Some of them you could just, I think a lot of them you could just do in the app if you have an app connected to your bank now, where you can just let them know like a travel notice. And some of them are a little more sophisticated. You can set it for like, don't flag it for anything less than X amount or, whatever. Yeah, everything there. If you want to take cash, I think some banks you can even do that ahead of time. You can order international currency. Like I think Wells Fargo does that. If you
I feel like that's such
wanted
a
to have cash.
scam. No?
I
Just
mean, I don't
exchange it
know.
when
I
you
don't,
get there. Yeah, just exchange, right?
well, like if people are uncomfortable using the ATM for whatever reason, it is an option. I'm not saying whether that is or isn't something I recommend. I just use my card for everything.
So, like, maybe travel internationally for funsies before you travel internationally for someone's wedding.
Yes.
I've traveled internationally so many times that I literally, for some reason, I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm, like, stressed. I, like, forgot about all these things that you have to do. I need a list." Okay, sorry.
Yes.
I keep interrupting you. Okay, so there's
No, you're good.
more stress. So you went up a mountain, I think is
Yeah,
where we
so we were told the Uber situation will be fine because I was like, do I need to rent a car? And they were like, no, where we're staying, there isn't any parking. They were not lying. This hill that we went up it was not a one-way road, but it should have been based on how narrow it was. Yeah, and then it was like, way out in the boondocks. And then once we got there was a gate that you had to get in, but they didn't give us a gate code, and then the gate code you had to call someone that was going to actually like let you in the gate. As it turns out, I don't know what happened, but there was some type of a breakdown in communication with the property manager for the villa that they had secured. They didn't know that there was going to be a wedding. So it was literally vendors showing up. They were like getting in. It was this whole thing. So
Oh, no.
yeah, that eventually got sorted and it was fine. There was a lot of flexibility that had to happen. My couple, they're the coolest of the cool. They rolled with every punch they were given with a smile. I honestly, like, they're great. But
I mean, you gotta be at that point, right?
they went through it for sure. So that was all fine. The event, like the welcome went fine. Boiling worked. Everything was good. And then it was time to leave.
The
I don't know
welcome party or,
service.
like, the
Yeah, leave the welcome party. There's no service. We're at the top of a mountain.
and they didn't have
So
little
how am I calling like it took me 3 hours to get an Uber.
No! Nobody could drive you down the mountain? Like
No, nobody was driving. Also, nobody had cars because there wasn't really a place to park. You literally could barely like
and they
drive
didn't
up
have
and down.
transport to, like,
And
take
then,
buses?
yeah, no, they absolutely needed like a van that was gonna like shuttle people in and out of the city
Yeah.
because there was only like a handful of people staying at the villa, all the other guests. So I don't understand. Everybody else, like, I mean, it took some time. It was anywhere between like 60 to 90 minutes. It took me 3 hours, I think, because I was one of the last people. But yeah, it took like 3 hours to finally get an Uber. And then there was a bridge that the whole area that it was supposed to be in is supposed to be like one big circle. So the directions that it kept trying to take were trying to assume that the roads were going in a circle. They could not go in a circle because there was a bridge that went out. So
Oh my god.
also the limited Spanish that I do know was not helpful because every Uber I got spoke Ukrainian and only Ukrainian. No English, no Spanish. Only spoke Ukrainian.
Alright.
So I'm trying to explain to this person they cannot keep driving. The way they're going to drive is going to end up at a fence and they're not going to be able to turn around because there is no place to U-turn. So then one of them almost drives off this cliff that we're on because I cannot adequately explain
You.
because I don't. I'm trying to like, type into Google Translate like English to Ukrainian, but they're also driving. So I'm like, I don't know how to read. Is it Cyrillic? I'm not sure if that is correct or not, but
Slavic?
like I'm trying to read like the Ukrainian thing, but I can't even because I don't even understand the letters.
Slavic. Yeah.
Slavic. Okay. Sorry. Thank you
Yeah.
for correcting me.
No, it's okay. I
So I'm
was
like
like
trying to get Google Translate to like, speak it out loud. We ended up making it back.
3 hours
I
later.
ordered a very large pizza. Bless the front desk people who ordered us a very large pizza because I was like serving after the adrenaline dump of that. And then worked with a concierge to figure out transport for the next night. So we did figure that out the next night.
Okay.
It was much better.
Were you
But
you were
yeah.
with your assistant still, so you weren't fully alone?
Yes.
Okay, that's
I was
good.
not fully alone.
That is good.
I
'Cause
would
that would
have,
be extra scary.
yeah, I feel very comfortable traveling for sure, but definitely at like 1 a.m. up in the hills, like with like a person that I literally can't communicate at all. Like, not that they were making me feel, well, okay, one of them was making me feel unsafe because once he almost went off the cliff, then he was very upset and he was like punching the car. And I was like, okay,
He's like, "This bitch who doesn't speak my
I get it.
language is trying to home at 1 a.m. and all the roads are closed." I'd be probably pissed too. Yeah, I get it. I
Listen,
feel very
I fully empathized.
Mhm.
But yeah, there were definitely times where, again, not that I like felt like I was under like a direct threat, but I was
Yeah.
like, I definitely feel better like not being by myself right now.
Yeah. Okay, so the next day, did we have a better day?
Yeah, yeah, wedding day went great.
Yay! Amazing.
Everything went great. Setup was fine. The favors were so cute. It was just like, getting all the little hats. Like, if you didn't see it, we did these little sangria bottles that were different little
Craft
Spanish
drink
shapes. Like there
around
was, yeah, a
sangria.
flamenco boot and little bowls, and then there was flamenco dancer shaped bottles. They all had these little traditional like hats on them. So we like got them all like situated and looking all cute, and like everybody loved them. I mean, I was able to do all of them during cocktail hour, and the couple like very graciously like included us like on their seating chart. So we really just got to like enjoy the wedding for the rest of it.
That's so
Which
sweet.
was really nice. Yeah. So that all like worked out. And then yeah, after all of that, I had a massive adrenaline dump.
Okay, like, explain what that means. Like, does that mean your dump is like a crash?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that, the next day, they were doing 4 more days of things. So they ended up
Wow.
they rented out a beach club for the next day, and then they all went wine tasting, all these things. And I was like, I just cannot. I love you. Thank you so much for inviting me to join all that. I simply cannot. So we went back. We took a train the next morning, which was like wonderful to be traveling so much lighter,
Oh my
get
god.
rid of like all the stuff. There were no extras. We like perfectly identified how many we needed. So we had no extras. Everybody got exactly what they wanted. So we went to Madrid the next day, and Madrid's like my favorite place in the world. So we did that by design. But also partially because I know the city so well and I've like done all the tourist things. So we just got a really nice Airbnb for the last couple nights, and we literally did not move. Like Netflix binge for like 6 hours,
Oh
just
my god.
windows open. We left to go eat and kind of walk around, and that was it. For the first day in Madrid, we just did
You're like, I
nothing.
need
We
like
didn't we didn't even
some sangria and some Netflix. Like,
yeah, literally, like, everything was that was the first place that we had separate bedrooms. Everything else we were sharing with obviously separate beds, but we were in fully separate bedrooms watching Netflix. Didn't even get up to talk to each other. We were just like texting each other, should we get up now? Or
no.
I watched the full limited series of Sirens, and then we went and got dinner.
That sounds like a wild trip.
It was great. There were so many but also great. It was chaotic good.
It sounds chaotic, but no, I mean, sometimes I feel like you are definitely a master of handling unplanned situations for sure. But I think
Do you
it also
see
yeah,
why, like,
it
I
all
couldn't explain this to you in a text? You're like, "How was it?" I was like, "I just, like, can't even get into it. I need, like, a few days to decompress."
don't talk to me for 3 to 5 business days, thank you.
This doesn't fit in a voice note.
Definitely can understand that. I mean, that's amazing. Like, I think, again, I think I'm just gonna go back to, like, it sounds like such a good fit for you, and I think, if you're someone who's, like, wanting to offer this sort of thing, like, know yourself, know your limits, know what you can handle, because, like, I feel we're both rooted in, like, the teacher, special ed, like, you're just flexible.
Yeah.
You have to be flexible, you have to be creative, like, that is your day-to-day, right? Like, on top of, like, all of your professional duties that you need to do, right? I just feel like we walked doing that so that you could run doing this. And like, even with all that background, I'm still like, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know that, like, hopefully not every I mean, I've done other international weddings that were still chaotic, but definitely not to this extent.
Yeah.
And a lot of that is just like, again, the things I couldn't necessarily control, but um it is a lot. It is a lot of
Yeah.
logistics. It is I will definitely be like bumping up my price.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. And, like, is it worth it for you, right? Like, too. So, like,
Oh my
for
god.
me, I know that
Yes.
stuff, like I'm like, "You couldn't pay me to do that." Like, you can't.
You
You
don't
can
want to like
bring me a
coordinate all of
log.
that?
Yeah,
That
you can bring
sounded
me a log.
so fun.
I want no responsibility. So yeah, I mean, it's a lovely window into all the possibilities.
Good and bad. No, but I do think like I my feed is definitely very curated. I live more of my life on my stories. If you're looking at all this on social media, I'll probably like do a little voiceover or something like talking through the logistics of this. But like, I got a lot of messages that were like, "Oh my god, goals! Like what a dream!" And it is. But I don't want anyone to think that I just like booked this thing and it was fine. And then I also did a vacation and like wore some cute outfits and like because that was not the reality of my trip. And I haven't posted anything because there's just like so much that happened.
Well, and then I think, was it like 2 out of 6 of your things were actually even fit you for the things that you rented?
Oh my
That was
god.
another thing on top of it of, okay, now you need something to freaking wear last
Yeah.
minute. Yeah. Yeah, lots of contingencies. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I think yeah. I say no more. I think I said it all. I think you said it all. I think I said it all.
Oh, so yeah, so that was my trip. But honestly, like I'd do it again and again and again and again. And I want to. Like, I enjoy that. It's not for everybody. I know I said my course was going to be out like months ago, but honestly, like, client work comes first, family comes first. I
We
am
know
having
it's
a hard
coming.
time establishing and holding my boundaries in
2025.
some of those other areas. So a lot of this is stuff that I will talk through in my live wedding calligraphy course. I am hoping to get back to work on that soon. I know there's been a lot of people asking, but a lot of this is what I will go over. Obviously, I can't provide specific answers to very specific questions, but what I'm hoping to do is talk through a lot of the considerations that you may need to research, may need to consider for your pricing, consider for your packages, how you're communicating with people. Yeah, just like the things that you should consider if this is something that you're interested in or have gotten an inquiry for. But yeah, hopefully that'll be helpful when it comes out. Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that it's going to be an awesome course. And I think that, the more that you do all of these things is like a lesson for all of us, which we so appreciate. Thank you so much.
It is trial by fire out here. It is rough in these streets,
Yeah. But you're
but
doing
they're the
it and
Spanish streets and they're beautiful.
yeah, you're doing it and that's all that matters. So awesome. Is there anything else you want to leave
Yeah.
anybody with us with?
I think that's it. Let me know. Send me a DM with like any other questions you have, any other thoughts. I know we said this was going to be a mini, but
Oops, we did it again.
it's a full episode. Sorry. But hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully you got some takeaways. I don't know that I gave actionable advice, but at least I've given you some things to consider and a look behind the curtain of, yeah, what that looks like.
Yeah. No, I think again for sure, I think you just continue to reinforce things for me, so I'm sure you're doing that. And also you've got me thinking I'm planning your Europe trip at the end of the year, so you've got me thinking of all the things I need to do and research about. So thank you for that.
You're so welcome.
All right. Well, with that, I say we call it a wrap. Thank you everyone for keeping up. You know where to find us. Signs of Our Lives. Cat Lauren Calligraphy with the C, Signs of Our Lives, and Keeping Up with the Clicks.
Thanks for keeping up. Bye.